Well, you got under their skin in a way they never saw coming, and now there is no going back. There is a difference between catching someone's attention and holding it. Catching attention is easy. Well, a smile at the right moment, a laugh that carries across a room, the particular way light falls on a face in a specific instant. These things catch attention all the time. Well, they produce a quick turning of the head, a brief noticing, a moment that passes as quickly as it arrived and leaves no particular impression behind. Holding attention is something else entirely. Well, holding attention means becoming the thought that returns without being summoned. Well, the name that shows up in the middle of other conversations, the presence that's lingers in a room after you have left it. Well, the feeling that settles into someone's chest and simply does not leave, no matter how many other things arrive to distract it. Well, holding attention means becoming someone's recurring preoccupation, not because they chose to be preoccupied, but because something about you made choosing otherwise impossible. Well, that is what you have done to this person, and they are only now beginning to understand how completely. Well, the feeling that is eating them alive, there is specific kind of emotional experience that people who are accustomed to having control over themselves find particularly disorienting. Well, they are not used to being overwhelmed. They are not used to feeling things that exceed the boundaries they have carefully maintained around their emotional interior. Well, they are not used to caring so much, so specifically, so intensely about one person that the feeling becomes its own kind of presence, something that accompanies them everywhere. Well, something that has weight and temperature and insistence that cannot be managed or minimized away. Well, and yet that is exactly what is happening. The feelings they have for you are not sitting quietly in their designated corner, politely waiting to be acknowledged when convenient. Well, they are taking up space, demanding acknowledgement, well, making themselves known at inopportune moments, and in the middle of work, in the middle of conversations with other people, well, in the silence, just before sleep, when there is nothing left to distract the mind from what it actually wants to think about. Well, you. They think about you in the voice of a love song that will not stop playing. Well, they replay the specific sound of your voice saying their name, not because they decided to revisit it, but because it keeps returning on its own, uninvited and entirely welcome. Well, every memory of time spent in your presence is a replay they return to with the particular care of someone trying to preserve something valuable against this erosion of time. This is not a crush. Well, this is not the pleasant pleasant lightness of someone who finds you attractive and enjoys your company. This is something that has roots. Something that has taken hold in the interior of a person who was not planning on being taken hold of. The vulnerability they did not expect. Here is what makes this specific and worth understanding. This person does not become vulnerable easily. They carry themselves with a certain composure, a settled, grounded quality that does not rattle without significant cause. They have navigated difficult feelings before without losing their footing. They have maintained emotional equilibrium in situations that demanded it. They are not someone who is easily shaken. And then there is you, around you, or in the private space of thinking about you. All of that carefully maintained composure faces its most serious challenge. Something about your specific presence, the combination of who you are, how you make them feel, the way you look at them when you are actually paying attention, bypasses every defense they have assembled over years of experience with what vulnerability costs. They are feeling things with you that they genuinely do not know how to hold. Things that feel too large for the containers they usually use to manage emotion. Things that are, in the most honest and uncomfortable sense, overwhelming, not unpleasantly, but in the specific way of something that exceeds your previous experience of what was possible to feel. And they did not see you coming, not like this. How you change your things without trying. You did not do anything strategic to produce this effect. You were not calculated in the way you showed yourself to this person. You were simply yourself, genuinely, consistently, without the self-consciousness that comes from trying to impress someone, and the authenticity of that created something in them that no amount of strategic self-presentation could have manufactured. They started trying to mirror you, your humor, your energy, the specific quality of your body language when you are relaxed and comfortable. Sometimes deliberately, a conscious attempt to be the version of themselves you would most want to be around. Often automatically, the body responding to deep attraction by instinctively moving into alignment with the object of it. They have been trying, without saying so, to become the person who fits you. Not out of inauthenticity, but out of the specific human impulse to close the distance between yourself and someone you want to be close to. And you probably noticed it. You may not have named it, but you felt it. The particular quality of someone's attention when it is completely, specifically, exclusively on you. The way certain people are present in a room and others are simply occupying space. This person, when they are with you, is profoundly present. The blueprint they carried without knowing. Here is the part of this story that reaches the deepest. This person has always carried, somewhere beneath conscious awareness, an internal image of the person they were looking for. Not a list of characteristics, not a set of requirements, something more elemental than that. A felt sense. A knowing that was difficult to articulate and impossible to ignore. An orientation of the soul toward something specific that it was designed to find, even when the mind did not know exactly what it was searching for. They have encountered attractive people. They have been in connections with people who, on paper, checked every box they thought they had. They have felt the excitement of new connection and the comfort of established relationship and a dozen variations in between. And something was always slightly missing. Not catastrophically absent, just not quite right. Like trying on clothes that technically fit, but somehow don't. And then there was you. And the something that had always been missing was suddenly completely present. Not as a surprise, as a recognition. Like seeing something they had always known, but never had a name for. Like hearing a word in a foreign language that captures a feeling they have carried their whole life without being able to express. You are their blueprint. The person their soul was oriented toward before this lifetime even began. The specific combination of qualities, physical and emotional and energetic, that matches something in them at a level deeper than preference. When they saw you, they did not fall into attraction. They fell into recognition, and that is an entirely different thing. The deep realization, here is the insight at the center of this story, the one that arrives quietly but changes everything when it does. The people who are truly meant for each other are not always the easiest to be around. They are the ones whose presence makes it impossible to stay small. What this person is experiencing in relation to you is not just attraction or infatuation. It is the specific discomfort of being invited by your very existence into a larger version of themselves. Into the version that feels things more fully, that cannot hide behind composure, that is confronted with the gap between who they have been and who they want to be. You make them want to be better, not because you have demanded it or even suggested it, but because being the person worthy of what they sense you represent requires it. And that desire, the desire to rise to meet someone rather than ask them to descend to meet you, is one of the clearest signs that a connection is genuinely significant. What they want to give you, this person is not approaching the idea of being with you casually. They are not thinking in the short term. or the convenient or the emotionally manageable. They are thinking about forever. Not as an abstract concept, but as a specific, lived, daily reality. A future that contains you permanently, that is organized around you being in it. That they are already imagining in the small domestic details that precede the larger declarations. They want to love you for a lifetime. That phrase carries its full weight here. Not as a romantic line, but as a genuine statement of intention from someone who has found in you what they were not sure actually existed. They are thinking about telling you this, turning the private enormity of what they feel into something spoken, something offered, something that crosses the space between interior experience and shared reality. And what holds them back is not indifference. It is the opposite. It is the specific fear of someone for whom the stakes are finally high enough to be genuinely frightening. They do not want to lose you. They are terrified of the specific scenario where their silence costs them the chance to have what they have found. They know, with the unambiguous clarity that strong feeling sometimes produces, that letting you go would be the worst decision of their life. The way they see you, when this person looks at you, everything else goes out of focus. Not metaphorically. In the specific physical way that deep attraction and genuine love narrow the field of vision. Other people, other concerns, other thoughts competing for space, they all blur at the edges while you remain clear and present and consuming in the center of their attention. You, and I want you to sit with this for a moment, are someone this person considers extraordinary, not in the celebrity or the aspirational sense. In the intimate, private, I cannot believe someone like this exists and is in my life sense. They find you naturally beautiful in the way that requires no particular effort to be impressive. Your voice, your body language, the specific way you inhabit your own presence, they love all of it with a thoroughness that leaves no part of you unappreciated. They would shout it from rooftops if they could. They want the world to know. There is a pride in what they feel for you. The pride of someone who has found something remarkable and wants to claim it openly, to point to you and say, "Do you see this person? Well, this is the person I love." The power couple that is becoming here is the image that captures the full vision of what this connection is building toward. Two people, both complete within themselves, both carrying a power that is real and evident. Both bringing something sovereign and substantial to the space in between them, not filling each other's gaps, not compensating for each other's weaknesses, but amplifying each other's strengths. Two individuals who are genuinely impressive, separately becoming together something that exceeds what either of them produces alone. This is the Emperor and the Empress meeting not out of need, but out of genuine recognition of equal worth. Not leaning on each other, but standing beside each other, steady, complementary, powerful, in the way that two complete things are powerful when they choose to align. That is what you and this person are becoming. Not someday, now. In the present tense of feelings that have already taken root and are already shaping the future even before the future has officially arrived. The soul that has found its way back. And finally, the recognition this person felt when they first encountered you was not new. It was the specific, unmistakable recognition of someone meeting a soul they have loved in other lifetimes. A knowing that precedes explanation, that lives at a level deeper than the accumulation of experiences in a single life. You have been here before in each other's stories, in different forms, in different times, reaching toward each other across the distance that separates lifetimes. And in this one, this particular current astonishing incarnation, you have found each other again. They know this. They may not have the words for it, but they know it in the way that the body knows things before the mind does. In the heaviness of the eye contact, in the particular peace of your presence, in the feeling of finally rather than newly. And they are not going to let this lifetime be another one where the connection went unspoken. Watch for what is coming. It is everything. Dear soul, if you made it to the end of this message, I truly believe it wasn't by accident. Perhaps God knew this was exactly what your heart needed to hear today. Don't close this video without carrying this promise with you. Right now, place your hand over your heart and speak these words with faith. I am chosen. I am deeply loved. I am not forgotten. God is working behind the scenes for me. My miracle is closer than I can see, and my story is still being written by His hands. Say it once more. Slowly. Believe every word, even if your circumstances haven't changed yet. Sometimes your breakthrough begins the moment your faith becomes louder than your fear. Never forget this. The same God who brought you here will never leave you halfway. He sees every tear you've cried in silence, every prayer you've whispered when no one else was listening, and every battle you've fought behind a smile. He has not forgotten your name, and He is still writing a beautiful ending to your story. If this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love. Somewhere, someone is losing hope, wondering if anyone sees their pain. Your share could be the very answer to the prayer they've been crying out to heaven. And if you feel God placing it on your heart to help us continue sharing these faith-filled messages with people around the world, you can support this ministry through a super thanks. Whether your gift is $5, $10, $20, or whatever the Lord leads you to give. Every offering helps us reach another's soul with hope, encouragement, and God's unfailing love. May the Lord bless every cheerful giver beyond anything you could imagine. May He open doors no one can shut, restore what was lost, bring peace where there has been worry, and pour out blessings that overflow into every area of your life. Thank you for being part of this growing family of faith. Together, we are reminding the world that God's love never fails, His promises never expire, and no soul is ever forgotten in His eyes. You mean more to this person than anybody ever has, and that's something that they've never been able to say that to themselves before. It's like this is going to sound strange in love, but it's like they've never had a one-up or like a level up in love. And it's like you're this person's level up. You are this person's crowning glory is coming through. It's really interesting because it feels like this person feels empowered in your presence. They're very grateful to be a part of your life. They're not very good at expressing it though. So let's dive into how this person is feeling, because there's a reason why you're seeing this video, and there's most likely has to do with, a little bit of confusion or a lack of clarity surrounding love. I'm getting a ringing in my left ear, so I'm going to pull a couple of cards and allow my angels to flow through me at this time regarding this love connection. Angels of love and light, Goddess Aphrodite, can you provide us with clarity surrounding this love connection and how it is we need to know? There's a lot of positive cards coming out here. Wow. Okay. It's really interesting because initially we have the Seven of Pentacles. So I feel like it's like you're meeting this person at a time where they don't really have it all together. Like they don't have it all. You're in the process of getting it all together, but this person, they really don't have it all together. But what they do have is an abundance of love energy, an abundance of willingness to learn and grow. But they are very stubborn is what's coming through. Like I see them kind of like dragging their feet behind them in a way. It's like they really believe they can do it, but it's kind of like every day they almost need this push in order to know that they're doing good, or making you proud is what's coming through, because ultimately it's leading to this King of Pentacles. So we're going from Seven of Pentacles to King of Pentacles. So like I said before, like this person's never felt like they could say that they're leveling up when entering a love connection. So what I'm being shown right now is that the love connection in general, so I'm being shown like a really big heart surrounding the both of you, but it's like really big. So like it's giving me this energy of being very intimidating to this person because it's a very powerful love. Like they haven't experienced this before. You haven't experienced this level of love before. Everything feels so intense. Like your emotions are heightened. Your visions are heightened, even like your thoughts, your beliefs, like everything is heightened. The good and even the behavioral patterns and thought patterns that are trying to get in the way of this connection as well. So there's a lot of push-pull energy coming through. It's kind of like, it's like you take steps forward together and then you take a couple steps back, because I'm hearing like bumps in the road. So you're hitting bumps in the road. And here's the thing that Divine Spirit wants to make very clear about this connection. You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to grow in this connection together. It's not supposed to be something that just, you come together with this person and everything's just perfect. A lot of people have this misconception about love. They're like, oh, it's supposed to be easy. Yeah, it's supposed to be in a perfect world where we didn't grow up with trauma and family issues and, problems surrounding love in the past. It's like, yes, in a perfect world, yes. But if you're on this journey of healing and self-discovery, the world is waking up and realizing there's more to life than just what we've been led to believe. Love is going to be similar for you when you come into this divine union. So it's really important to remember that it's about learning in love together. And so long as you are showing up, committed to learning in love for yourself as well as this person, You are going to lead the energy of this relationship. You are going to draw this person in by your willingness to learn and grow. So setting your pride to the side and allowing just love to exist between the two of you, especially in the moments where it's the hardest. But with the 10 of Hearts following all of this, this is union. Like, this is long-term commitment. This is marriage. Like, this is happiness together. This is the energy of happily ever after, of children in the background, of family celebrating you in the background, of your guides. Like, this to me is a representation of Mother Earth, just in admiration of everything that you've overcome together. So please don't get your connection confused with toxicity, because there's a very big difference between a toxic relationship and a relationship where you hit bumps in the road and you have to communicate, you have to work through problems individually as well as together. So make sure you're able to use your discernment in that, because a lot of us love to label things as red flags and toxic and follow this like super toxic, idealism of what relationships should be based on social media posts and based on, a 30-second clip of what somebody's showing you that isn't even true to what they're living in their everyday life. So don't allow yourself to get pulled, and don't fall into the illusion of what love should be, because your love connection between you and this person is one of those ones that it's going to be likely misunderstood by most and understood by very few, understood by only those who are also on this path of discovering what it is to be divine, discovering what it is to, break out of this human form and more into your natural form of your soul's truth. And so meeting somebody along that journey, that alone can be very intimidating and very intense. So again, with the 9 of Swords, it's really important for you to continue to prioritize yourself in this connection, because prioritizing yourself in this connection is ultimately going to lead to you being able to hold the space to prioritize the other person. It is also going to encourage the other person to prioritize you. So these are the key codes that you're being handed here. Prioritize yourself, and your divine counterpart will prioritize you. Whenever I get overwhelmed in my soulmate connection, right, in my true love connection, I take a step back and I allow myself to feel for a moment of what it is to be disconnected from it all. I say, okay, universe, I know this person's here for me. They prove it day and day again, yet somehow my mind, because of what I've been through in the past, still brings up these feelings and these thoughts and these behavioral patterns that ultimately could be sabotaging to a connection if I don't take the time to step back and sink into my own divine energy for a moment. So I'll take that moment and say, okay, universe, spirit of divine, I step back, I sink into receiving mode. I'm just going to be patient. I'm going to be peaceful. I sink into peace. And I allow true love to show me. I allow space for this person to step forward. And every time, without fail, this person steps forward to fill that role. You cannot desire somebody to fill a role for you as your divine counterpart without having the space available for them to do it. So your key code, another key code, is creating space for your person to show up in true love for you. And that means sinking into your own energy and giving yourself love. With the Magician on the bottom of the deck, you have a very powerful presence in love, in this world. You have a very powerful presence. It's like you don't realize how powerful it is. And when you're directing it at other people, it's so powerful. Even in a love connection, it's so powerful that it can almost push somebody away if they are not ready to receive all that you are. So it's really important to come home to your energy, come home to your magic. Practice what you know to be true and continue to work on building your reality, creating your reality, creating who it is you wish to be, choosing who it is you wish to be and how you wish to show up in this world, and most importantly, in love, in a connection, in a relationship with your family, whatever it may be. Choosing how you wish to show up. It's so important here. And if any of this resonates with you, if you are feeling called at this time to dive in deeper, to really figure out what it means to come home to your own energy, what it means to create your reality and choose your highest path for yourself, choose the betterment of yourself. And it can be important to have that guidance, to have somebody to hold your hand. And when you're experiencing, one of those bumps in the road, you have something to go to. You have a ritual to pull out. You have an affirmation to pull out and raise your vibration, remind you of who you are. And that's exactly what I've spent the last year doing, is working on a Master Your Reality class to provide you with the keys and the codes and everything that you need in order to become the best version of you, ultimately calling in the highest version of love for yourself. And so if you do feel called to work with me further, you can click the link in my bio. For 99 days, we will work together to bring you into connection with the highest and most abundant version of you.